Okay, great, 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 great. So get your towels out, please, or whatever you brought. And I want you to sit on them like Jan's gonna sit on this. Okay, so just sit facing the board now and put your towel on top of that. I'm not picking on you.
No, it's okay. I don't mind.
And I'm sitting on these blocks just so you can see me a little bit better for when we start. But the reason why I'm having you sit on a towel is so when we sit on the ground with our legs crossed, we sit like this. Just how somebody's right. And when we sit up a little bit on something, raise something, it's so much easier to sit up, right? And to open up your hips a little bit. So if you don't feel like you are high enough and that you can't sit up without it being, when I say sit up, sit, align shoulders, then let me know and I have more stuff. Like you can sit on blocks like I'm sitting on. Louder? Okay. So let's just go ahead and start sitting just like this. I do walk around a little bit, and if you don't want me to touch you, tell me don't touch me, okay? Because I sometimes do a little adjustments. Jen, because you're tight in your hips, you got to come down like this. Cool. So we sit cross-legged. Called easy pose. Okay, and then everybody take and do their other leg instead. The one that's not natural. Okay. And so just close your eyes for a second and think about your sit bone sitting down pretty deep into your blanket. Take your hands and press up yourself, not up, but just lift yourself up and then think about somebody's pulling on the top of pulling your hair up. So you're touching the ceiling with your head and you're well grounded into your blankets. Okay, good. And think about not sticking your chest out, not crunching on your lower back, but being completely aligned, like your instructor might tell you when you're being tossed around by your horse. Okay, so you can open your eyes or keep your eyes closed and just start to roll your head around a little bit, loosen your neck. So everything but, not back, but just roll ear to shoulder, slowly. Yeah, bring your chin to your chest. Good, yeah, just see if you can, oh, and you can set your hands in your lap or on your knees or whatever you want to do now. But keep thinking about lifting. I like to think about with my abdominals that I'm zipping up a really tight pair of jeans. So lifting your abdominals up and in. Okay, and then open your eyes. Take your hands in front of you like this, and turn your arms out like that, and drop your shoulders. So we all do this. I walk around like this pretty much all day, like this. And then lift your arms up. Keep your arms straight. Cool. And then drop your shoulders. So try and keep your hands where they are. And if this is uncomfortable, just go like this. Lift. Think about where your position is. So again, are you grounded into your blanket? Are your shoulders out of your ears? Are you zipping up your tight jeans? And is your chin level with the ground? So look forward. Great. Okay, and bring your hands down. Okay, so take your left, my right, and just bring it to the floor. Bring your right hand up and just stretch over. And see if you can stretch over without, just stretch out. You can put your hand directly out from your left hip. You can look down at your hand. Just reach, just so you're just giving a side stretch. And then come over and do it on the other side. That should feel good. Yeah, good. Yeah. Okay, one more time. Lift up. Maybe you bend your left elbow. Good. Excellent. And one more time. Lift up and over. Okay, and then see if you can lift your chest up now. Just chest. And again, I don't feel this in my lower back at all, so all I'm doing is lifting my chest up. And then one last thing, hold your knees, and then just really see if you can pull back, stomach way in, kind of rolling over onto your sacrum. So all of that should feel pretty good. Alrighty, okay. So I just, as we're warming up, I just wanted to say what I think we do with yoga and tying it to riding. There's 5 things that I think about, and the first one is strength, and especially as we get older, we tend to lose our strength. So strength, we'll see that a little bit here, and balance also, the same thing. So when we're riding, balance for me is one of the hardest things, staying even. So just body awareness. So where is your body while you're going through all of these things? When I'm doing yoga, I'm kind of doing this mental feeling thing of, is my body where I really want it to be? Totally relate that to riding. And then symmetry. Another thing about riding is, are we completely symmetric in everything that we do? And then finally, flexibility. So for me, when it comes to riding, I think less about flexibility than anything else, but that's because I'm super flexible, so it's different for everybody. Clearly there's muscles that you want to be able to open more, and we'll work a little bit on that. So those are the main things. So let's, I'm gonna go sideways here. So you might want to take your blanket or your towel and lay it down on your mat, just like this, so that you can have your knees on it. And maybe you can sit like this for just 1 sec. Great. And then sit on your heels and sit up, 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 up. So I have this here just to protect my knees. Not protect them, but keep them from hurting. So I'm going to show you sideways. Do one little balance thing. So, oh great, I'm not going to turn my butt to the camera. Okay, so you want to have your hips right over your knees and your wrists right underneath your shoulders. And we're not going to sag, and we're not going to hump up here. We're not going to do any of that. So just go straight here. Great. And have all of your fingers spread, and have your fingers facing forward, and then your thumbs are facing each other. So think about like this. Not in, not out, just like so. Good. Okay, take your right leg back. And see how I have my toes, kind of standing on my toes there? Try and make your thigh as strong as you can, so I'm squeezing my thigh. And then just take your left arm forward. Yeah. You can balance there. Balancing is a lot easier if you're pressing the foot, your left foot, onto the floor as hard as you can. And then if you want, you can lift your right leg. Keep your toe pointed to the, yeah, good. See if you can turn your palm that's up in the air in. And anytime you can bring your leg down or your hand down. And then if you want, you can reach back, take your right ankle, and get a little stretch on your right thigh. And then, okay, so I was talking about balance, right? So this is all about balance. So think about lifting your abdominal muscles in. Anytime, go to a different pose, feel free. And then we can just come out of it and do the other side. So bring your left leg back, I am really pressing into my left toes, and I'm pressing my entire calf and top of my foot down to the ground. If I don't do that, I can't stay balanced. Bring your right arm forward. Bring your palm facing in. Yeah. Great. And then when you're ready, lift your left leg. Point your toes straight down. See if you can balance here. Look slightly forward, so don't look down at your chest because you won't be able to balance. Great. See if you can keep your hips even. And then if you want to reach around, grab your left ankle, get a little twist, get a little stretch on your left thigh. So I'm pressing my ankle into my hand and my hand into my ankle. Okay, come on down. Breathe. Oh, I didn't mention to breathe, but. Okay. Okay, let's stand up. So the primary pose in yoga is called Tadasana mountain pose, and pretty much everything that you do in yoga is based on this. So I'm just gonna turn sideways in a second, but look down at your feet for a second, and you have an inside ball of your foot and an outside ball of your foot, same with your heels. So just see if you can connect to all four corners of your feet. And see if you can have your feet facing forward. In fact, can you line up your outside of your feet so they're parallel without bringing your knees in. Okay, so same thing when we were sitting. Think about lifting, zipping your really tight jeans. Lifting up, and then relax your shoulders. Great. You might want to grab your hands, clasp your hands, and just stretch out the front. Okay, so try and come back to this. I mean, this is like, could we maintain this kind of position while we're on our horses? This kind of evenness. Somebody else who has an adorable buckskin pony. Okay, so we're going to do a series of downward dogs. This is my absolute favorite pose, and when you're doing it on your own, you can hold it forever, and then when you're in a class, it's like you're cursing to yourself at your teacher. So I'm only going to do this, I'm turning sideways here, so we're going to come on our knees, just watch for 1 second, and then into that same position that we were in on our hands and knees. I think it's really important to think about your hands being in the right place. I'm going to show you one thing when I'm doing this. So, basically you just lift your butt, and then you push yourself back. I'm thinking about bringing my whole front of my body into the back of my body. And you don't have to have your heels touching the floor. You don't have to have your legs way back here. Here's one thing I want you to think about, and I'm going to stand up and talk you through it a little bit. I have my elbows facing forward, and I can feel this in my triceps. Like for me, this is the best tricep work that I do. It's really interesting. So come down on your hands and knees. Just take a look at your hands. Spread your fingers so your thumbs are almost facing each other. Great. And see if you can not have your hands turned in or out. And then just lift up your butt. Lift up your butt. Great. And then push back as much as you can with your hands. Really push back. Now, without doing anything else, bring your elbows so they're facing forward. Do you feel that in your triceps? Yeah, good. Okay. You relax your back of your neck. Yeah, so you can just kind of hang your head down there. Great. Anytime you want, you can come into a child's pose, just bending your knees and just putting your... Okay, so I'm going to walk around a bit. Come down and rest for a second. So let's do that again, and I'm gonna walk around and help you a little bit. Some of you, and again, if you don't want me touching, just say, don't touch me. Okay, come on, back on up, so just push your, yeah, great. Bring your elbows so they're facing forward, spread your fingers, really good. You might wanna bring your feet a little bit closer to your hands. That'll make it easier for you. Just walk forward.
Touch me.
Just walk forward a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Really good. That looks beautiful. Great, okay. Bring your feet almost to your blanket. Perfect. Okay, can I touch you? Yeah. Great, and come down and rest whenever you want. Fingers so they're facing forward. This is, I planned this, like to do downward dog for a really long time. Keep your hands where they are. Great, and then take a rest whenever you need a rest. Good, can I touch you? Relax your head a little bit. Yeah, good. Okay, and then just come down and rest. How was that? Did you feel it in your triceps? I mean, that's like overall feeling it everywhere, right? Okay, so, you'll like this a lot, I'm sure. So we're gonna go back into a downward dog. We're not gonna hold it that long. And then we're gonna come to a plank. So you may need to adjust your feet a little bit. Lift your stomach up, not this, not that. We all do planks, right? So just, let's come down into a downward dog and then move into a plank. So when you do a plank, you come forward, you bring your chest forward, good. Look forward a little bit, look towards the front of your mat. Good. Bring your knees down, just your knees, and do a plank on your knees. So if we're doing a plank, this is just fine. I'd rather everybody be doing this than this, or just really struggling. So we're gonna come back into a downward dog. We're gonna come forward again into a plank. Drop your knees if you want, and then we're just gonna come down into a reverse push-up. And then come on down all the way. And then bring your chest forward. So let's do that together. So back into a downward dog. Come into a plank. Good. You may have to adjust your feet and your hands. Drop your knees just onto the mat. Yeah, and it's easier if you lift your feet up a little bit. Good. And then bring your elbows back, bring your chest forward, and then just do a really slow reverse push-up. Oh, so this is the strength part and the abdominal part. Okay, let's just do that one last time, because it's so fun. So come up into your best downward dog. Yeah, we'll relax our wrists in a second. And then come forward into a plank. Go ahead and set your knees down, drop your knees. Keep that straight, so everything from your, yeah, good. So Kelly, you're kind of like hanging on your shoulders, so move your hands forward just a little bit. Forward. There you go. Lift your stomach. Okay, and then see if you can come down into do a reverse push-up, which is just your whole top half of your body comes down at the same time. Great. Great. Okay. So let's take a rest. Come sit just for a second.
Is there a way to make that easier on wrists?
Yeah.
Wrists. Yeah.
Do it a lot. Yeah, you can fold your mat and then have your wrists more like this.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that puts a little bit, you know, and then the other thing is, You can just come down on your elbows. We did a lot on our wrists, so we're gonna take a wrist, we're gonna take a wrist from that. Okay, so let's stand again. Just come on up any way you can. And see if you can find that same pose that we had at the beginning of our standing with your feet parallel. You can put your hands on your hip. So I'm going to do one little forward fold. We're going to do more in a bit. Got lots of time left. So from here, just keep your hands on your hips and just think about bringing your chest forward. Try not to bring your butt back. Look forward, bring your chest forward. Think about zipping up your abdominals so you're lifting your abdominals into your lower back. Yeah, good. Okay, and you can do a full forward fold, but just come on up. Let's do it one more time. So think about your whole torso is in one piece. And then you can bend your knees a lot. In fact, you can lay your front of your body on your thighs, if that's attainable. And then just drop your head. And that's your forward fold. Good. And you can try and straighten your legs a little bit. And try not to lock your knees. Great. I like to support myself with something when I'm doing that, so I'm not locking my knees, rounding my back, so if you're feeling this in your back. So now just drop your head completely and just roll up as slow as you can roll up. So one vertebrae at a time. Great. Person who's standing up straight last wins. Okay, so let's do a little bit of lunge, and I think you're going to notice a lot about this in terms of how you can relate this to your riding. But we're just going to take our right foot and bring it back, and bend your left knee so you can find your balance. So my heels off the ground, everything is sitting straight forward. So this is really good for like when your horse is pushing you around and you can't maintain your position. And see if you can straighten your leg a little bit. See if you can lift your arms up. Great. Perfect. Megan, can you point your front foot forward? Excellent. Beautiful. Okay. Now, just watch for a second. See if you can bring your foot forward, push off your back foot, bring it forward, and without looking, can you match your front foot? Okay, and back again. It's your other foot, your left foot. Yeah, sit down a little bit. So both of my feet are facing forward. Maybe you can come down a little bit more, maybe not. My knee is right over my ankle. Maybe you can straighten your back leg. Lift your abdominals up. This is good for your calf. I mean, this is another strength, but also opening up the front of your hip. So come back again. Okay, we're going to do a little warrior series here. So I'm just going to show you really quickly. We're going to stand and I'm not going to stand. I'm going to stand in a pretty wide stance here. My feet are parallel. Okay, and then we're going to turn our front foot forward. And then we're going to twist our torso so it's facing forward. Arms out. And then just sit down between your, talk about hip opening. Let's go ahead and try that. So facing this way, facing the boots or the shirts. Keep your feet even. Yeah. Great. Turn out your front foot. And then sit down between. So it's not this. You can bring your arms up. Yeah. So see if you can keep your front knee in front of, or right above your ankle. Yeah, good. Beauteous. Really good. So strong arms, warrior for a reason, strong arms. Is your knee ahead of your ankle, and just bring it back a little bit? Are you leaning forward? Bring your back hand as far back as you can. And then see if you can have your chest facing that wall. So you're feeling a little bit of thigh and hip opening here? Yeah. Okay, and then straighten your front leg. And then twist it a little bit on your back. So now you're facing forward again. Sorry, that was not a very good smooth move. So now my foot is at like a, what is that, a 45-degree angle? And your stance is going to be a lot closer together. And just sit down again. So this is warrior 1. We did warrior 2. Yeah. Now, hopefully you're feeling this in your calf. See if you can bring your torso facing front. Your hips are not going to face forward, but your torso can. Lift up. Take your hands together and see if you can bring your hands behind your neck and lift up. Good. Okay. And then spin on your back foot. See if you can come forward and match your. Okay, so let's turn around the other way. And do the other side. In a pretty wide stance. Spin your front foot, forward, your left foot. Okay, stand up tall. You can just even spin your torso so you're facing forward. If you feel this in your knee, don't lock it, just bend it a little bit, and then sit down right between your legs. So you're not leaning forward, lean back. Your hands aren't higher than your shoulder. Great. And keep your back leg straight. Yeah. And yeah, that's all good. Try not to stick out your belly, try not to bend over. See if you can just keep, like we were standing in that mountain pose. Can you have that feeling? How's that? Good. Okay, and then turn your back foot in. Again, not very graceful on my part. Bring it a little bit forward. So now your back foot is like at a 45-degree angle. There's space between your heels here. Bring your hips forward and sit down. You need to adjust. So this is warrior 1. So again, another really strong pose. Press the back of your back foot, the whole edge, back into the mat and sit down a little bit more. Are you feeling this in your back calf? Please tell me that you are. Great. Okay. And then you can take your hands behind your head. I just think this feels good. And lift up. Good. All right. Same thing. See if you can bring your foot forward and match your other foot without looking. Good. Okay. So we're going to do another forward fold, but we're going to do a wide leg fold. Okay, so again, you want your legs to be pretty wide. It's actually easier, I find, with my legs a little wider. Just like we did with our legs together, you're going to come forward. Try not to stick your butt back. Just come forward. There's a lot of balance here. And you might be able to reach the ground. Not, you can hold your calves, lift your stomach up, look forward. You're going to feel this in your inner thighs. I don't know if you're like me and have challenges with being loose when your legs are on the horse, your thighs are on the horse. Good. So really keep your, yeah, this looks great. So come up again See if you can come up, straight up. Super. Great, and then let's just do that one more time. It's a really good stretch. So come on forward. Hands on the ground if you can. I'm going to try and have your back as straight as possible, so maybe that means your fingertips need to be this is where Megan's going to do us all shame. And we do our splits. Okay, come back up and bring your feet together. Just relax yourself. Okay, I want to work on balance for a little bit and leg strength. I would suggest, unless you feel, and I hope this is going to be okay, unless you feel like your balance is super good, might ruin our camera thing, but I find something that you can put your finger on that is stable. And you can come up here if you want. I mean, if you feel super confident with your balance, that's great. Cool. Okay, so just lift your, I'll do it my bad way first. So just lift your right knee straight up. You need to fall. You've got that there. So you're standing in that same mountain pose that you were standing in earlier, just on one leg. Great. Beautiful, Megan. Great balance. Okay, and then just bring your leg out. If you need to bring your foot down for any reason, go ahead. Make sure your standing foot is facing forward and that you're not hiked up in your hip. Great. And then bring it forward again. And then if you want to bring it straight. Great. Go ahead and set it down. And bring it back up again. Now we're going to do the last warrior, which is tilting forward straight, face straight. And you can bring your legs out, your back leg. So make both legs strong. And if you think about pressing your hip in, makes your balance a little bit easier, looking forward as opposed to down. And then set your foot down. Back up. And then the last one is we'll do tree pose. But there's 3 tree poses you can do. This is fine. This is fine. Or this is fine. The only thing that's not fine is this, because you're just pressing against your joint. And I don't think you want to do that. So this is perfectly good. This is good. The reason I like I have better balance than what I have right now. But I like to be standing here so that I'm not training my body to, be unbalanced. So maybe just one arm. Good. Try not to have your foot on your knee. Bring it below your knee or above your knee. Are you feeling this at all in your standing leg? Good. Okay, go ahead and set that down. Okay, and make sure you're standing well on your right leg. Bring your left knee up. Bring your right knee up. Just kidding, I was just thinking about doing what Meg's doing.
Same time.
Open your hip. Great. Good. Grab onto something if you feel yourself falling. Bring it back. And then you can take it out if you want. Good. So, feeling it right there, right? Good. And you can do whatever you want with your hands. You can lift your arms up, you can keep them on your waist, you can hang on, make a knee, and just set it down. Okay, So then let's just go back into tree pose. So you have this option, which is perfectly good. You have this option, which is perfectly good. And you have this option, which is perfectly good. Hands can be here, they can be out, they can be up, whatever works for you. Great. Just breathe, rest. Come down whenever you want. Gorgeous, okay. Just rest for a second. So one more. I'm gonna face this pole. So just lift your knee, grab your ankle, a little dancer's pose here. So try not to hold onto your foot, try and hold onto your ankle. And it's not so much about bringing your foot to your butt, it's more about pressing your ankle into your wrist, and you can tip forward a little bit. Should be feeling this in your front of your thigh. And of course, by now you're standing like this, screaming. And come on down whenever you want. Okay, and then get readjusted. We'll just do the other side and we'll be done with all of that. And if you can do bounce up and down while you're doing this, you get extra points. Great. And come on down whenever you want. How's everybody doing? Doing good? Yeah? Great?
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna come back down onto our backs for a few things. So in this case, you may want to use your towel as a little bit of a pillow under your head. I'll show you what I mean. If you don't have one, see how my neck is kind of crunched back here? If you do have one, it helps you keep your chin, stretch it out here towards your chest. And so your back of your neck is straight. Good. So bend your knees. Great. Feet are parallel. While you're here, we're not in Shavasana yet. So lift your hips just a little bit. Take your butt and push just kind of suck your stomach down, round your back a little bit, and set yourself back down. So now you should be on your sacrum, and ideally your entire back is on the floor, completely connected to the floor. So lift your right leg, and so I have it bent here, and take both hands behind your thigh. Yeah, make sure your foot on the ground is stepping on the ground, and then just straighten your leg as much as you want to straighten your leg. Don't lock your knee. Should feel kind of good. You can bring your hands up to your calves if you want, and bring your leg a little bit more towards your face, or towards the back of the room. If you want, you can hold onto your toe, bring your leg back a little bit more. Keep both hips on the ground. See if you can keep them even. So here's another thing, like, are you hiking up your right hip, or are your hips even? And then bend your knee a lot, and straighten your leg again. Good. That's really good. So everybody's pretty open in their back of your legs. If you feel this in your knee at all, like any sensation at all, just bend your knee just a little tiny bit.
I
Okay,
feel it in front of my calf.
in front of your
My
calf.
shin. My shin is so tight. Isn't that weird?
What happens if you flex your foot? Does that make
I
it
feel
worse or
it.
better?
I can feel it, the front of my shin and the back of my thigh. It's quite weird.
That's interesting. I'll come over and look. Okay, so go ahead and set your foot down.
Strange.
I'm gonna come over and look. So bring your leg up again with your calf parallel to the floor. Put your hand on your hip, on the outside of your thigh, and your elbow down on the ground. And then just go ahead and open, your hand's gonna slide a little bit, open your leg that's up in the air and press your opposite hip down into the ground. So you should feel that. Your standing knee, your left knee is straight up. And if you want, you can straighten your leg a little bit. Here's a big opening. Try and flex your foot that's up. So bring your toes towards you. Good. And see if you can do this without just dropping in the hip. And then bring your leg back up. Good. So you feel that on your,
Right there.
what happens if you completely rest your, relax your foot?
And I pull it out, I still feel it. It's like that whole, all the way.
Oh, okay, so from, yeah, okay. I think it's because you're really tight right here. And this is going all the way down.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's some exercises we can do to loosen that.
Cool.
Okay, let's do the other leg. Perfect. Okay. So this is opening up your, let's see, our right foot's down now. Take your left hand on the side of your thigh and then you can just open up your left leg. Oh gosh, this one's so much tighter than my other one. I wonder why I'm uneven. Keep your right hip on the ground. And see if you can use the strength of your leg and hold it up rather than just letting it flop. Use the strength of that inner muscle. Go ahead and bring it back up. Set your foot down. Bring your right foot up again. You just take a peek at me. Take your ankle and just place it over your left thigh, not your knee. Perfect. Lift your left leg up off the ground and see if you can lace your hands behind your thigh. Yeah. And maybe really gently on your right thigh, not your knee, just press out a little bit with your right hand so your right hand's touching your right thigh. Just really gently. Feel that in your glutes. And then if you want, you can straighten your left leg, maybe bring the left leg towards the left foot towards the back of the room. I'm hoping you're feeling it in your glutes as much as I am. See if you can flex the left foot that's up in the air and your toes are coming towards your face, straight. Good. Okay. You want to keep your hips completely on the floor. So not your butt up in the air. Okay, and then set that down. Adjust yourself so you're all straight. Take your left ankle over your right thigh, not your knee. And you can lace your hands behind your thigh and bring it back a little bit. And while you're doing that, if it feels okay, you can take your left hand and press it against your left thigh a little bit. That feels a lot for me. I don't know about you guys. And then you can straighten your right leg if you want. bring it a little further back of the room. Good. Try and keep your hips on the ground while you're doing that. Oh yeah, breathe. And then bend your knees and place your feet on the floor. Okay. We have just enough time to do a little ab stuff. Okay, so we're gonna start in boat pose. So if you can sit with your heels on the floor, your hands back a little bit here, sit tall. Elbows are pointing back, stomach in. Bring one foot up. Maybe bring the other foot up. Flex your feet, sit up. Can you, maybe you can do this, you know, without your hands back here for balance. Bring your stomach in. Lift up. Your knees together a little bit. Good. And straighten your legs. Come out of this anytime, sorry. And then maybe you can straighten. Go ahead and bring it back down. For some reason, I feel that in my thighs almost more than anything else. Good, great. Let's just do that one more time. So bring it up. Arms forward. Lift up. Try not to sink down. Lift up. Lift your stomach in. Maybe bring your legs straight. Okay, and then bring that down. Is that good?
Not good. Oh, so good.
Okay.
I go home and do that.
There's,
Yeah, you're getting yourself into.
okay. Another thing I'd like to do, so knees are bent like this. I take my hands and I, like this, and I put them right under my butt. And that way I'm not lifting my lower back off the floor. So as you bring your knees up, there's a couple of options. You can just leave one leg up, touch the floor, leave the other leg up, touch the floor. Just keep doing this. Bring your belly down. Oh God, this is great, half halt. Bring your belly into your lower back. Relax your shoulders. Bring your chin towards your chest. So you're just doing one at a time, or maybe two at a time. If you feel like your lower back is coming off the mat, stop. Don't do that. Maybe you straighten your legs and do one at a time. Abs into your lower back. Good, just keep, when you're ready to take a break, take a break. So relax your whole shoulders, your face. And then maybe you're doing both toes, both bent knees and both toes down at the same time, slow. And then if you want to have more fun, straighten your legs, bring your heels down, but don't touch the floor. Don't let, if your lower back is coming off the mat, bring your legs up a little bit, because you're going to be sorry, your back's going to be really sore. You can lift up, bring it back down. Yeah, slowly. And take a rest when you're ready. And then the last little thing we'll do here is the same thing, but let's place your hands behind your neck. And then we're just going to do the same thing. We're not going to sit up. We're just going to keep however you want to do. So like one foot at a time with your knees bent, 1 foot at a time with your knees with straight, leg straight, both legs, both knees, whatever you want. So I'm feeling this a little bit more. I don't know if you are. So up and down, toes touching the floor. And then go ahead and rest whenever you want. Just go ahead and collapse for a second. So one last thing before we lie down and rest. If you can get yoga blocks, these are really inexpensive, you can get them anywhere, you'll love your back more. So we can do this without the block, but come back down on the floor, knees bent, straighten your legs. And just go ahead and open your legs a little bit. See if you can do this without just dropping open. See if you can hold your legs up by using your inner thigh muscles, your outer thigh muscles. Flex your feet. Yeah, does this feel good?
Actually.
Probably.
So if it hurts, I mean, if it's a little discomfort, that's fine. If it hurts, bring your legs closer together. And then go ahead and bring your feet together. You're in an L shape with your legs and your torso. And then see if you can press your feet together and bring them towards your towards your stomach, how I'll just say that. Take your elbows and open your thighs a little bit. Yeah. So this should be relaxing. Make sure your chin is coming towards your chest so that the back of your neck is not all crunchy, and abdominal muscles coming into your lower back. God, and wouldn't it be great if we could sit like this on our horse while we're doing a sitting trot, an extended sitting trot? Okay, and then legs back straight up in the air. And then one more time, bringing them open again, slowly. Maybe they're gonna go a little bit further. Abs into your lower back. And bend your knees a little bit. And then bring the soles of your feet together. I'm putting my elbows into my thighs to open them up a little bit. Press your feet together. And go ahead and breathe. Chin towards your chest. Okay, and go ahead and set your feet down. Just going to show you really quickly. With this block, this is just heaven. My sacrum is really pressing into the block, and it's, I would just do all of my yoga on this block if I could. One last thing, take your right, like we did before, take your right ankle over your left thigh, and then shift a little bit. Let me try and show you. we're gonna do a little bit of a twist. So right leg over left thigh, and see if you can just roll over and bring your right foot to the floor. Hold your right ankle. Bring your right shoulder blade back to the floor. And your right arm is out, straight out. Tickle your neighbor. Chin to your chest, lengthen the back of your neck. And then bring your knees back up, step on your feet and readjust your back. Take your left ankle over your right thigh and just slowly fall to the right till your left foot is on the floor. Bring your left arm out and your left shoulder blade to the floor. And this should feel pretty good. Okay, and then come back up. Roll up just for a sec. So last pose, it's called Shavasana. I would go ahead and put a blanket under your head and get wherever you are that's comfortable. Come down on your elbows. Just come down slowly. So we're just gonna take a 1 or 2 minute nap. So personally, for me, I like to have my feet on the floor and my knees up so that my lower back is completely on the floor. That's just my thing. You can also straighten your legs completely, have them come out a little bit from your hips. So here is where we're allowed to just completely still our mind, which if you're like me, I can do that for about 2 seconds. So what I like to do is I just go through my entire body from the top of my head to my toes and just kind of feel where everything is. Are you even? Is your breath even? You can have the arms out, top of your hands on the ground. And just relax here for a minute. Okay, you can rest at home, so bend your knees, roll over to your side and push yourself up and come sit on your towel, wash your legs. So the tradition in yoga, at the end of yoga, is to acknowledge your practice with everybody that you practice with, and you take your hands into palms together and you bring them to your heart and you lift your heart. You can bow your head a little bit. And then when we say namaste, it's, this is not a religious thing. It's just basically namaste means the light in my heart goes out to the light in your heart, my heart goes out to your heart. It's just an acknowledgement of your practice with everybody, with yourself and with all of those in the class with you. So namaste. Thank you. Let me know if you questions about anything.
How do I stretch? Do you have a specific stretch I can do for that area that you pointed out? Just tighten me?
Yeah,